Today, we're taking a look at one of the most versatile cinema ND systems that I've personally ever used, the SmallRig Multifunctional Modular Matte Box. A big thanks to SmallRig for providing us with the matte box for review. We've also had a look at the optional variable ND filter, and we're happy to confirm that it's of comparable quality to its peers, and we found it to be more compatible with wider angle lenses than most of the other 95mm clamp-on variable ND matte boxes that we've used. We're also going to talk about the essential accessory that separates this matte box even further from the competition, placing it, in my opinion, in a price to features category with little to no alternatives. For the last few years, I've been trying to find the most versatile and quick to set up ND filter for cameras without internal NDs. They come in many shapes and sizes, each having a range of compromises between cost, size, flexibility, and optical quality. Many of us start out with circular screw-on filters, and some of these, even on the cheaper end, can be really quite good. I've still got a $20 variable ND I keep in my camera bag for scenarios where I get asked to shoot on a camera on the spot without ND filters. They're not very convenient though, because you have to screw them onto your lens. And even if you are happy to lose some time on set, once you step into the cinema world, many cine lenses won't have threads to screw filters onto them in the first place. It's more common to find NDs in squares or rectangles that you need to place inside a filter holder, normally a cinema matte box. In recent years, matte boxes that clamp right onto your lens have become very popular and are an extremely convenient way to get filtration onto your lens. It has to be said that they do make your rig look pretty great as well. It's because of this that I tend to advise newcomers to start investing in a matte box system early, so they can carry the glass with them through their careers, similar to investing in PL or EF mount cinema lenses instead of mirrorless lenses that normally aren't compatible with larger cinema cameras. This way, you can make choices that will outlast your camera and will work with rented cameras and lenses if you purchase a compatible size to start with. There are a few options to choose from for clamp-on matte boxes, and I think the SmallRig may be the most versatile. It comes in a 95mm size, which I feel is the most common for the lenses I use, and can be adapted with step-up rings to smaller sizes. It comes with a few in the box, and you can purchase more after the fact. I quite like the plastic ones you can buy that fit inside to adapt the matte box rather than each lens you're using. The benefit of these is that you can use it on a whole lens set with just one ring, but it also allows the lens to get further into the matte box, which improves coverage for wide-angle lenses because they get a lot closer to the back of the ND filter. This variable ND filter is an optional add-on that slides into the tray and allows you to get about 1 to 8 stops of neutral density. The image with this filter remains sharp, and there's only a small color cast, which is comparable to competing products and is correctable in post. Really though, the best practice is to perform your white balance with your filtration applied before you shoot. Like all variable NDs, there is an amount of polarization. You can notice it in skies or reflections. It's just a side effect of how these systems work, and that's the trade-off for the convenience of having variable ND filters like this. The diameter of the ND filter is also quite large, and this means that it supports up to 16mm wide-angle lenses with little to no vignetting. When it comes to the external build quality of the system, things are good. The quality of materials is quite solid, and it's not too heavy considering that it is a nice larger size, which, in my opinion, looks better on my larger camera builds. There's a fair bit of carbon fiber and metal, and the quick release for the front of the matte box feels solid and well built, and, frankly, a little bit cool to use, which is always a nice touch. I do occasionally find it fiddly to snap the front back on, but I think I'll get used to it given more time. I've noticed a bit of jumping on some of the knobs and screws as you tighten them, which doesn't feel super great, and that extends to the fastening of the matte box onto lenses. I don't think any of that is a huge concern, but it doesn't feel that great when the levers get stuck a bit and you aren't 100% sure if things are nice and snug or if the screws have gotten stuck in a patch of uneven resistance. Another downside to the system is that if you have it built out with a variable ND attached, which is how I have it most of the time, it doesn't fit into the included carry bag until you take it apart. And take it apart you do have to do if you want to remove the variable ND. It won't slide out freely until you remove the front of the matte box, and I find that admittedly frustrating and not very intuitive compared to some of the competition. It also would have been nice for the variable ND filter to come with an additional filter frame to allow you to use a filter in front of the ND. The 5.56 filter tray is included, but not the frame for that filter tray. Even though the filter tray frames are stackable, you have to purchase another tray frame to use both of the included filter trays together, and that's a bit of a pity, because I did like using a very low stop ND or a Pro Mist filter in the tray on my Tilta Mirage. With that said, you can buy more, and this matte box system has an ace up its sleeve. It's more customizable. You can stack multiple filter trays almost indefinitely to get as many filters as you can justify. SmallRig also offer 4x4 filter trays as well as the more standard 4x5.6 trays, which allows people like myself to use a wealth of photographic square filters as well as our rectangular cinema filters. More importantly, there's a side flag kit. I know this may not be a big deal to many, but as someone who's been on sets where clients don't enjoy lens flaring, and also being someone who has a set of anamorphic lenses, you may not always want flaring. Having side flags is a killer feature and one I wish all matte boxes had the option for. The flag kit comes with a left and right flag that just screw right onto the matte box, and a larger top flag with retractable sides to extend your light blocking reach. The extra control this gives you can be game-changing when you need it, and I commend SmallRig for having the foresight to make this add-on for this matte box. I think this feature alone makes this matte box the most versatile and compelling clamp-on variable ND matte box in this price range. You don't need to use it fully built either, so the only real downside is the slightly larger footprint. In conclusion, this matte box may not be perfect, but the flexibility and modularity as well as the better wide-angle compatibility have made me think of it as a more professional tool, and it's the matte box I keep in my A-cam as a result. It's well worth checking out, and there will be a link in the description for those of you who are interested. Leave a comment below. What are some of your favorite matte box options? We'd love to know. Anyways, that's about it for this one. See you all next time.